What's up, everybody? Andrew Zimmern here. No, I am not wearing let me get comfy. I am not wearing an old T-shirt. Wearing a new T-shirt, and or at least one you haven't seen before. I'm hoping, and I am in a hotel again, on the road in New York City, staying at the lovely Midtown Conrad, a hotel that I would recommend for anyone. Less expensive than most other hotels in its category, beautiful rooms, and a staff that is really friendly and attentive. It's a super, super nice hotel, and I love it. Conrad Midtown. Okay, let's get to your questions right away. Linda writes, I'm looking to replace my cast iron saute pan because of its weight. I'm wondering if a carbon steel pan might be a good replacement. What do you think of this product? Could you suggest a brand name that could go the distance? I cook on a ton of carbon steel. I have a lot of them. I love them. They're quick to preheat, much different than cast iron in that sense, and obviously lighter. Home cooks, once you get used to it, you cook a couple things, you'll be fine. The first couple times you may scorch food or burn it, you just have to kind of, they get hot really fast. Let me just say that. But I love mine, and I reach for my carbon steel pans first and foremost. And once you season them well, they're just absolutely fantastic. Mauviel, Mauviel, a French company, makes some stunners. Blanc Creatives, Blanc Creatives, Blanc Creatives makes some stunners. Pole, Pole, makes some stunners. I have a couple Japanese ones that I got online on Amazon. I would check those out. I love the Japanese carbon steel pans. They're just beautiful, and there's a lot of great savings there as well. The other thing you can do is check out Eating Tools. They eatingtools.com occasionally has some really nice ones as well. Cindy writes, I have 3 questions. What brand of sheet pans do you recommend? To be honest with you, I just go to the restaurant supply store and grab the cheapo Volrath ones. They're great. Make sure you measure your oven. Professional full-size sheet pans do not fit in conventional home ovens, so be careful. But I use half sheets and quarter sheets all the time from Restaurant Depot and other stores like that. It's the best value. For baking, I always buy friends as gifts the ones from Williams-Sonoma. They're a goldish, coppery color. They're really great. It's like they're pro line. Good sheet pans. Cindy also writes, I'm in need of a new soup pot. Could you recommend your favorite and or one you'd recommend for an amateur home cook? I'll tell you something, 99% of the soup pots out there are just too fucking small. It drives me crazy. Go to Heritage Steel. They have one, I think that's 14 quarts. I own their 12 and their 14. I use the 14 most often for stock. But I have one that's one size bigger. I think it's in liters. It's a European one. I think it's Italian. I bought it I saw it at a garage sale and bought it. Because if I make I want to, get like 15 pounds of chicken bones, load it up, put 3-4 gallons, at least 3 gallons of water in there, and let it cook for 24 hours. And then I'm able to pour off stock that I can use for months, almost all season long, and I don't have to always be making it. But the other thing about Heritage Steel that's great is they have rondos, Rondots, which are lower and wider. Love it. And like I mentioned before, Mauviel makes some great ones. Buffoni, Buffoni, makes some great ones. Cuisinart makes a really nice 12-quart one as well. Her last question. I've noticed on TV food shows that the chef is preparing on a cutting board. Don't you prepare? Do you mean something other than chopping? I've never heard one chef comment on the apparent importance of using a board for prep. Wow. I talk about it endlessly. I buy Boost Block. They're fantastic. They last a long time. Upkeep is easy. You have to clean them, twice a year. I sand them and re-oil them and do the whole thing. The reason I sand them is that cuts and dents and nicks, even small ones, bacteria can build up in there, so you sand them out. I love Boost Block. Now, that being said, I have about 10 different kinds of cutting boards at home that people have given me as gifts. I love a lot of them. Some tend to fall apart or crack easier than others. They dry out. Don't wash your wooden cutting boards in the dishwasher. Make sure you oil them all the time. I mean, I sand and oil twice a year, but I clean and oil them, I don't know, once a month, especially in the wintertime when it's drier. Quinn writes, are you familiar with Moromi Shoyu created by Bob Florence? I sure am. Using very traditional Japanese technique, but based in the United States. Sure am. I think what Bob Florence is doing is fantastic. Very cool. Followed him on Instagram early, like years ago, and he pinged me, and I've traded messages with him. Cool guy. Also using local ingredients for their infused soy sauces. Quinn highly recommends it. Yes, and there's also the bluegrass soy sauce that Matt Jamie makes. There's a lot of small makers of soy sauce all around regionally that are getting into it, and it's fantastic. Some are stronger and thicker than others, so I tend to use them for cooking as opposed to dipping. You know what I'm saying? So just make sure to taste it and use it for what you think best. Anthology, that's an interesting name, writes, I'm in the South, and my local grocery store sells cheap pork steak and various cuts of pork meat. Sometimes they don't specify the specific cut of pork. I'm sure in a lot of small butcher shops in the South, they would be taken from the leg. But I find these to have way more marbling and better flavor than actual pork chops or tenderloin. Absolutely. Here's my take on pork tenderloin, lamb tenderloin, beef tenderloin. Mushy, not a lot of flavor. I don't get why people are constantly using them for things. Pork chops, shitty marbling, hard to cook for most home cooks. And if you find pork chops that have really exquisite marbling, they're super expensive from species-specific hogs. So I love, for when I'm making pork piccata or pork roasts and all the rest of that, to use shoulders and legs. And when I'm doing saute dishes or wok toss dishes or anything, or kebabs, I take meat from the shoulder and leg, and sometimes tenderize it with a meat mallet. I love it. So the idea that you're using offcuts of pork for this is great. As long as it's nicely marbled, you're going to have good flavor. If it's from a working cut in the animal, you're going to have to pound it a little bit so that it cooks quickly, the way a luxury cut does, or just let it go low and slow for longer. But their question is, do you find yourself with cheaper cuts of pork taste better than more expensive pork chops? Yes. I feel like I'm getting away with a great crime because I'm paying less and enjoying the heck out of my cheap pork. Go for it. You found a great resource. Enjoy it. The late, great Anthony Bourdain did say it takes more artistry and skill to cook cheaper cuts of meat and make it taste amazing. Anyone can cook a ribeye. Yes. What he meant was, and he was quoting a lot of other cooks before us. I'm not trying to take away anything from Tony, but the point that we always are trying to make is if you're braising meat and you're cooking it and you have a multi-process brown and braise, much trickier than just throwing a luxury cut on the grill, cooking it to medium rare. I mean, literally anyone can do that. You don't need a lot of talent for it. Jay writes, my wife and I will be going to Madrid and Barcelona to visit our son at the end of March. Do you have recommendations on restaurants in those two cities? Oh my gosh. do I ever. So do we take Madrid first? I'm very familiar with Madrid. I have my Madrid list right here. Um, uh, David Munoz, one of the greatest chefs in the world, has Diverso, Diverxo. Three Michelin star restaurant, one of the best in the country. Make a reservation. Spanish seafood restaurant, Desde 1911, DESDE 1911, absolutely superb. Sala de Despice. Is just a fantastic restaurant. Javier Bonet, friend of mine, has been in Bizarre Foods. SALADEDESPEIPIECE. Sala de Despice is just small, modernist, not expensive, fun, hot, happening, big counter to sit at. I love it. Tripea in the Mercado de Valle Hermosa. Mercado de Valle Hermoso has a restaurant. It's a meat centric place called Tripea that's absolutely fantastic. But they have a lot of non meat dishes too. Let's see what else. What else do I love? Bar Trafalgar. I know it's crazy, but it's an old tavern. Crappy name, but they do a lot of really cool things. It's a great place to hang out and eat tapas. David Munoz, who has Diverso, also has Street XO, which is a more casual place. Casa Dani, Dani, famous for their tortillas. Incredible. Let's see. So many cool places here. Tres por Cuatro. TresPorcuatro. Is in the Goya neighborhood. It is spectacular. Incredible veal. Great callos, which is a tripe stew. It is one of my they knock it out of the water there. It's how I found the place because I love callos. Duquesita, the pastry place. If you like pastry, go to Duquesito. Duquesita, DUQUESITA. Let's see what else. Tasqueria, fantastic. Javi Estevez, a great cook. La Tasqueria, TASQUERIA, absolutely love it. If you like old school food, Tienda de Vinos, which is also a wine shop. Let's see what else. Angelita, great new restaurant that opened there. I'm trying to pick out places that cook Spanish food from my list because I have a bunch of non-Spanish restaurants on here. Let's see. Oh my God, if you want lots of snacks, Hermanos Vinagre, Vinagre, Hermanos Vinagre. Spectacular vermouths and wines and great snacks. Let's see, what else? Venencia, which is a wonderful place. The bar has it's very sherry-centric, but great snacks as well. Casa Revuelta, Revuelta. It's near the Plaza Mayor. Great salt cod, fried cod, just absolutely out of this world. I also featured them in Bizarre Foods and have kept going back. Neighborhood restaurants with Spanish home cooked food. Sanabresa, Sanabresa. Sanabresa. Sorry about that. I had a little technical difficulty. Anyway, as I was talking about Sanabresa, traditional cocina madrienos, the old school Spanish food of Madrid, like callos, that wonderful stew, and so many other great dishes. One of the best places to eat that, and I love all that food. It's not all offal and things like that, but great chickpea and meat stews and Asturian beef stew, fabada, things like that. A really good place to have it is a place called Cruz Blanca Vallecas. CruzBlancaVallecas. Just absolutely fantastic. That should keep you set for Madrid. When it comes to Barcelona, so many great restaurants there. It's just absolutely craziness. And there's so much international food being cooked there. Again, I go there for that great, the food of Catalonia is what I go there for. However, I just do. Gresca, Gresca, absolutely out of this world. Disfrutar, Disfrutar, both of which are incredibly imaginative, outstanding precision. Just fantastic food. Alkimia, Alkimia, part modern gastro restaurant, and one that does more traditional Catalan cuisine. I love Alkimia. Lasarte, Lasarte, in the Monument Hotel, is a place you've just got to go. It's absolute must go. Cinq Sentits, CincsenTits, which means five senses. Super imaginative, modern cuisine, kind of like the best chef. The chef's name is a guy named Jordi Artal. He's fantastic. Banquet, which is all about the slow food movement up there. Spectacular. What else did I like the last time that I was there? No, that's Brazilian. Oh, a la par, which is my one sort of, it's Peruvian Japanese cuisine called Nikkei, but it's shot through a Catalonian prism using local ingredients. So, it's absolutely out of control. What else do I really like there? Oh, Enoteca Paco Perez. Paco Perez is just, it's more casual, but absolutely fantastic. Cocina Hermanos Torres, which means the Torres brothers' kitchen, is just fantastic. They got a Michelin star with their last restaurant. This one is, they call it nostalgia cuisine. Fantastic. Let's see, what else? Oh, Amar, Amar. If you love seafood, absolutely fantastic. And it's about a year old. If you're looking for something refined and modern at the same time, Joke, Jok, fantastic. Some of the best carabinieri, those big red shrimp that I've ever eaten. I don't know. That should keep you busy in Barcelona. And yeah, obviously, go to all the great markets and blah blah blah. Michael writes, hello, I used to spend a lot of time in Amsterdam and fell in love with bitterballen and Ossenwurst. Me too. Both of which are ubiquitous in the wonderful cafes there. I've made Bitterballen at home, although they don't turn out so good. Would love to give Ossenwurst a go. However, it is a raw smoked beef sausage. Yes, it is. It's like a spreadable beef sausage. Do you by any chance have any advice how to approach making Ossenwurst at home without poisoning myself and my loved ones? Look, Ossenwurst is traditional smoked sausage. It originates from Amsterdam. It was always made from ox meat, hence the name Ossenwurst. Nowadays, usually made with raw beef and a lot of Dutch East Indian spices like pepper and cloves and nutmeg and mace. Sorry, I'm talking with my hands and obscuring my face. That rhymed. You just need a smoker, maybe a little bit of butcher salt just to keep the color, and a good book on curing meat. Here's the deal. You're not gonna kill someone if you use super fresh beef, mix it, season it, throw it into the smoker, especially if you use a curing salt. But there are ratios about this that are very, very, very important. And I'm going to give you the name of a book. One of the very first books that Michael Ruhlman ever authored, from called Charcuterie, The Craft of Salting Meat, is absolutely fantastic. He did it with Chef Brian Polson, came out in 2005. It's one of those books that's kind of a Bible for salting, smoking, and curing. And I would go get that and read it before you start making Ossenwurst, but then do it. Vicky writes, looking forward to hearing about your trip to Lexington, Kentucky. My daughter graduated from UK and we loved it. Yeah, it's fantastic. But I didn't get to eat a meal there because I came in late at night. I went to work the next day and then flew out that afternoon. Are you coming to my Sicily trip? Are all of you listening going to come with me to Sicily? My friend Tim Hollingsworth, the chef at Odium in LA, wants to come with. And Danielle writes, will it be filmed? No, this is just a trip for me with 20 people. Everyone has always asked me for the last 25 years, how do we travel with you? Well, now you can. So just click. You should have seen something all the way at the top about this. Come with me to Sicily, October 28th to November 6th. What else do you got going on? Let's do it. Come with me to Sicily. We're going to have a really good time.